All right, so we are going to look at the rule and then match these. So if you notice at 0 or xy, we're adding 3 to y and then adding 3 to x and then keeping the y. So that actually just moves 3 spots to the right. So that moving 3 spots to the right is called a translation, where it moves 3 right. So here that moved up 4. Here the x value moved 3 right. So this is the correct choice. So here, if I multiply x and y by 2, that is a dilation with a scale factor of 2. So we multiply both x and y by the same value. Here, we keep the x value the same, and the y is plus 4. So this moves up 4. So that is going to be C. Then here, the x value is the same, but the y value moves down 4. So it's a translation of down 4. So that's D. I can write down 4. Here, x minus 3, that moves left 3. And up 4. So here, I move 3 spots to the left and up 4. So that is E. So now, as we look through the other part here, we're going to describe if it's a rigid motion, a dilation, or neither. So on here, our rigid motion would be some sort of translation or reflection. Or a dilation. Now we're going to do dilations having the same scale factor where you're scaling x and y by the same thing. So if you notice this rule, it moved left 2 because we subtracted 2 from x. And then the y minus 3 means we move down 3. So if we look at that, that's a translation. So that is our rigid motion. So we would put this as yes. Here I multiplied the x value by 2 and the y value by 3. So we are making it bigger, but it's not similar where it's a dilation. We didn't do the same thing to x that we did to y. So this is going to be neither. If I drew that, it's not going to be a similar shape. Now here, if I multiply the x by 3 and I multiply the y by 3, that is going to be a dilation because we scale both x and y by the same thing. Now this one is a little bit more challenging. I can write this as negative x plus 2, but let's keep the y value. So let's look at some examples. Let's look at if I did 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 1. So if I were to graph this, we have 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 1. So I'm going to make a triangle and see what happens. Now my rule says I do negative x and then plus 2. So the opposite of 0 plus 2 is 2. And I keep the y value, it was at 0. So this goes to 2. So that was 1 for x, 2. So there's my new one. Here I go negative x, so negative 1, plus 2 makes 1. We keep the y value, which is 0. So now I have 1, 0. And then here, the opposite of 0 is 0. Plus 2 becomes 2. And then I keep the y value. So this goes over to 2 and then 1. If you notice, this shape is the same, so it is a rigid motion. but it just happens to be a reflection and a translation. So sometimes if you're stuck, it helps to draw it out.